Warriors had a double-digit lead going into the fourth quarter last night, but they were terrible down the stretch and lost in Orlando. Kevin Durant did not play. Steph Curry missed a career-high 21 shots. Steve Kerr said after the game, quote, "I didn't think we executed very well at either end of the floor." That's their fourth loss in the last 6 games. Chris Broussard back with us, but Skip, I will start with you. How vulnerable are the Warriors right now?
If they don't have their closer, they're in big trouble.
Oh, that's
If they don't have the best player on the planet, they're in bigger trouble.
Don't do that, Skip.
That's my takeaway.
Okay.
I started watching this game because I couldn't quit watching this game because they were up, as Jenny said, 11 after 3, and they lost the fourth quarter 33-15 because they didn't have Kevin Durant and they did have Steph Curry. And I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to come down harder. I'm going to double down on this. You remember, because we were both at ESPN, I loved Steph before that draft. And I was on the record, I would take him first over Blake Griffin. And I think he's backed me up on that. But I'm going to be very objective, maybe harshly objective about Steph Curry. He does not have the clutch gene. You cannot trust Steph Curry in big fourth quarters, big moments, big games, big nights. Last night, he's got to win that game. And especially when you're up 11 and he shoots 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. And I kept saying, he's not going to do this. And I have regularly seen him shrink. There's not much to shrink. He's about 6'3", but he shrinks under pressure of magnitude. And we saw it in microcosm over All-Star Weekend because in the three-point shootout, he should have won. He gets to the finals. It's in his hometown. And he just shrank in the finals, and you could say he ran out of gas.
Harris was on fire.
Okay? He was on fire.
He did have 25, though.
But he wasn't that Steph. He wasn't that transcendent shooter in the finals. And then what happened in the game? I'm thinking this is Steph's game, right? They're going to set him up to win this game and be the MVP back in his hometown, and he shoots 6 for 23 and 4 of 17 from 3 in the All-Star game. Now let's go to what really counted pre-Kevin Durant, when they blew the 3-1 lead to your team. What happened in games 5, 6, and 7? Steph didn't happen. Steph had a combined 7 assists in those 3 games against 12 turnovers. And you know what happened in game 7 in his house? He shot 6 for 19. He shot 4 of 14 from 3. And in the fourth quarter, he went, just as he did last night, 1 for 6 and 1 for 5 from 3, and had the worst turnover of the night when he threw it behind his back into the 7th row. And it was a crucial sort of turning point moment in that game. Well, I've regularly seen Steph not live up to his 2-time MVP regular season status in the biggest moments in playoffs. I think he does not have the clutch gene. Is he a transcendent shooter? Has he changed the way the game is played now? We're sure he has.
Best shooter ever?
Yeah, he's the best shooter ever.
Yes.
I don't know if I want him taking that shot, though, because I don't see him make that shot. We've seen moments. He made one in Oklahoma City on a Saturday night, but not biggest moments, biggest stages, which is why Draymond went, according to you, crying into the parking lot.
He did. Chris Broussard know it.
And who did he call?
Call Kevin Durant.
Call Kevin Durant.
Call Kevin.
Who you going to call, Shannon? You're going to call Kevin
Yeah, you
Durant.
remember that movie, Who You Gonna Call?
Yeah.
No, fuck that, he called KD.
Good.
First of all, and this is not going to be a whole Steph defense, but I so much think people underestimate what he did in those 2015 finals. When Dellavedova guarded him the last 3 games, he averaged 28 points. For the series, he averaged 26, almost 27.
For the record, Iguodala won the MVP.
Which to me was ludicrous.
You said that from the start.
I mean, come on. Iguodala was a role player. They weren't even guarding him.
Did he not change
was
it?
on him.
What happened in game 4?
He guarded LeBron.
Game 4.
He guarded LeBron.
Yeah.
But Mozgov was guarding him, sitting in the paint while Iguodala's on the three-point line. Steph was the driving force, but I think he gets a bad rap for that series. I think he clearly should have been MVP. But getting back to the Warriors as a whole, you're right, they didn't have Durant last night. They are still the heavy favorite, I think. I would still be shocked if they didn't win the championship. But there are some issues there. Number one, Draymond Green is not what he used to be.
He's not.
Right?
Well, he had a quiet game last night.
He's shooting 25% from 3, which people, that's the guy you leave open against the Warriors so you can get double the other guys. And that's the worst since he was like a rookie or something. He's averaging 7 points a game. that's the worst since he became a starter. He was a double-figure scorer all these championship years.
Yep.
Defensively, when he first began starting, when they won the championship in 15, he was a 96.8 defensive rating, which is great. Next year, they win it again, or they lose to Cleveland, but he was great. 98.6 defensive rating when they won the 73 games. Then 100 defensive rating. This year, it's all the way up to 105.7 for him personally. It's gotten progressively worse each year. His body's starting to break down, so he's not the defensive dynamo he used to be. And then I got to look at Boogie. And I hate to say this because I think Boogie Cousins, his attitude has been great.
It has.
He is fit in. He's passing the ball. And the eye test, you look at it and you're like, Boogie is playing great. Like, he's moving the ball. He's a great passer. He's trying on defense. He's running the floor, all that. His numbers, 25 minutes a game or a little bit less, 15 points, team high 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, it looks like it's great.
Yep.
But when you really delve into the numbers, the analytical numbers, you see that Boogie on the court, they're actually way worse. Now, since Boogie joined the team and started playing again, not before he started playing, but since he started playing around Christmas or whenever that was, their offensive rating with him off the court is 118, which is historic. That's 2 or 3 points better than the all-time best. Showtime Lakers, some of the Warriors teams. With him on the court, it goes down to 108. And that's 21st in the league right now. Defensively, with him off the court, 105.7, that's top 5 in the league. With him on the court, it's 108, which would be around 11th in the league. So their net rating with Boogie off the court is 12 points, 12 and a half points better than their opponent. With him on the court, it's 0.2. Now, this is just something that's hard. It's not talent. He's obviously greatly talented. But defensively,
that's not his forte.
No, and it gives them, now the opponent has 2 people to go at. You used to only have to hide Steph, and we're going to target Steph, try to get him in pick and roll. Now I got Steph and Boogie to target.
And now we put both of them in the pick and roll.
Right. So it just, and offensively, he's taking 11 shots a game, which he's only shooting 44%. So Durant, Clay, and Steph are all very efficient. That's just so, look, I hate to put this on Boogie, and I'm not putting it all on him because Draymond hadn't been the same either, but the numbers are what they are.
You know what? The thing is, as simple as this. They can't beat people with their C game anymore. And because you've worked Kevin Durant in, and so once if Kevin's out of the lineup, Steph's out of the lineup, they struggle. Now, it's hard for me to see someone beating them 4 times in 2 weeks when they're all together and all they're focused on is you. Because now it's Orlando, where they just beat the Heat, so Orlando, and then they make the swing. Maybe they're going up to Atlanta. It's all that. But this is a different team. You still have to beat them 4 times in a 7-game series. And you got to do it with a 7-foot that has an arc release of 10 feet. He's unguardable.
Best player on the planet, right?
See, you ruined every good conversation. We had a good conversation.
Well, you were heading there.
No, I was not heading there. Yeah. But here's another thing. When they're all in the court, you got 3 guys. One guy can hit you for 50 one night, the other guy can hit you to 50 the next night, and another guy can hit you to 50. No other team possesses that. No team has 3 guys that can go get you 50. And Clay can go get you 60 in under 30. Kevin Durant. And the thing is, look, when Steph's shot is falling, it's a thing of beauty. But when it's clanking, but that's the thing you got to worry about. Because just like he went last night, he went 5 of 17. The other night, he went 10 or 16, and they blew somebody out.
No, I got it.
That's what you got to worry about.
There's one other X factor here you did not mention about Draymond. His production is falling, but his haywire factor is still high. Because I watched when I was on vacation, we were in Las Vegas, actually. I'm sitting watching the game at Portland. Did you happen to catch this one?
Yeah.
4th quarter. They fell all apart around Draymond getting into it with Zach Collins, and technicals are flying. There's always that factor with them where that can be one of those 4 losses if you aren't careful.
And their bench is not terrible. It used to be a strength. Their bench is awful.
That's a big difference. All right, Chris, it's been good to have you with us all week. So LeBron, guys, he does it all. Is he about to become a major music